What's up, my fellow Cronians? It's your buddy Scooby here, back with another LolCow TCG deck building video. And in this one, we're going to be doing my Wrangla Smangla Scribe deck build. A bunch of my other deck building videos have been over the LolCow cards, and in this one, we're going to be doing the Scribes. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to be starting off with the 5 cards that we are limited to only 1 per deck. 1 Pot of Mead, 1 Server Outage, 1 Pickle Quest, 1 Raxmus Arrives, and 1 Mr. Medicare the Forbidden One. Now that we've got these out of the way, let's go ahead and move into our trickery cards. We're going to be taking the maximum Bionym and CWCs that we can, that being 2, 3 Do-Whats, 2 Goat Wires, and 2 Information Overloads. Moving on to our magic cards, we're going to be taking 2 Conway Chili Slops, 2 Cow Bash, 2 WTF Was That, and 2 Medicare's Judgment. And moving on to our trap cards, we're going to be taking 2 Disorder in the Courts. And last but not least, before we get into our character cards, we're going to be taking 2 Wrangla Saloon. Moving on to the characters that are themed after our deck, we are going to be doing the Wrangla Crew Scribe cards. So starting off, we have 2 Mech Warrior Cow Assassins, 2 Zippities, 2 Wrangler the Cow Hunters, 3 Smoke Master Vegas, 3 Cow Slinger Maggio, 3 Bubba in a Pickle Suit, and 3 Robo Wranglers. Now that we have our Wrangla crew out of the way, let's go ahead and move into our other character cards. So, to start it off, let's go ahead and take 3 Biff Wolfed Up, 2 Base Shamans, 2 Audentum Mechanical Scribes, 2 Darkside Becky, 3 Bazinga Boys, and 2 Smoky McDrax. So now that we've got everything out on the field, let's go ahead and go over all of our cards. We have the Pot of Mead, which you are allowed to draw 2 cards and then ban it. Server Outage, which scraps all characters on all players' fields. Pickle Quest, which allows you to search your deck for any card and add it to your hand. Raxmus Arrives, which allows you to draw 3 cards, gain 50 life points, deal 50 damage to any player, and scrap a target character that is on the field. And for our last card that we are limited to only 1 per deck, that being the Mr. Medicare the Forbidden One, this one is interesting because I don't normally use this one, seeing as I use LolCow decks, and this is only allowed in a Scribe deck. So coming in with a 6 tape cost, his stats are 80 and 80, and he has Immortal on him. When Mr. Medicare the Forbidden One enters the field, you can send any card on the field to its owner's scrap pile. So let's say that your opponent has a powerful character card on the field, you can play this and instantly scrap it. Moving into our trickery cards, we are moving on to the Vitamin CWC, and whenever you see an X, that just means however many you would like to pay for it. So you can either draw X amount of cards, then lose 25 life points for each card drawn, or you can deal damage to any target character or den equal to 20 times the amount that you pay for it. Next up, we got Do-Whats. This is a really useful card. You can say Do-Wha and negate any card that your opponent plays from their hand and immediately send it to their scrap pile. And of course, one thing that I always like to tell people who watch this is a very good and useful card to negate a Project Goat Wire. And speaking of Project Goat Wire, that's the one we have up next. This is another trickery card. When you call it out, you can create a goat token on your field with dash, 40 attack, and 10 health. That token dies, then you create another copy of that token till the end of your outro. And again, I also like to say with this card, this is sort of like a server outage on your opponent's side of the field. You can just use this to continuously create tokens to wipe out your opponent's side of the field. And next up, we have the Information Overload, and this one is actually similar to a Raxian Rage. So Raxian Rage can only be used in a LolCow deck, and Information Overload can only be used in a Scribe deck. So their abilities are kind of the same. With Information Overload, we can deal 50 damage to any target or remove 50 damage from any target. And on that Raxian Rage, we can pay 1 tape to do 50 damage or an additional 5 tapes to do 100 damage. So that's the difference. Moving into our magic cards, we have the Conway Chili Slot Massacre. This is, of course, similar to a server outage, with the only difference being that this scraps all non-Chungus type characters that are on the field. Then moving on next, we have the Cow Bash. We can scrap any target LolCow. And the one caveat to this card is that you may only play this if you control a Scribe already. Next up, we got a WTF Was That. This cannot be played in a deck with LolCows. Again, that's good since this is a Scribe deck. And we can deal 60 damage to any target character. Moving on to Mediker's Judgment, this can only be played if you control a Scribe as well, so same as the Cow Bash, and we can choose one of the following effects. We can either gain 60 life points, or we can ban a target character. Moving on into the trap cards, the Disorder in the Court. This prevents all damage that a target character deals that turn, and we can activate this at any time as long as it's already on the field. And moving on into our den, which is actually going to help us greatly with our deck, is the Wrangla Saloon. So how this one works is that we pay 2 tapes to first get it out onto the field, then we move on to its ability, again that X being however many you want to pay. You can search your deck for a Wrangler crew character with a cost of X or less and place it onto the field. You may only use this effect on your turn and only once per turn. So let's say that we already have this on the field and we're looking for a Wrangler type character to call out to the field that is not in our hand. We could pay that 3 tapes and search our deck to instantly get him out on the field to get us that advantage. Moving into our character cards, we're of course going to start with the Wrangla crew first. So we have the Mech Warrior Cow Assassin, and this card has Stalker on it, which means that we can play this on either player's turn. So with the ability, we can spin this character instead of declaring a beatdown with it, and we can scrap any target spun character on our opponent's side of the field. So we can activate our Mech Warrior's ability to instantly scrap that card off the field, with the only caveat being that we lose life points equal to the target's current attack. And next we have Zippity Rodeo Rider, another Wrangler crew. And this one has dash on it, which means that we can immediately attack with it when we call it out onto the field. And with its ability, if we decide not to attack, we can spin it and tell our opponent a joke. If they laugh, deal 50 damage to any target, which would be 10 more than the card originally does with its base stats. But on the other hand, if they don't laugh, we only deal 20 damage to any target. And next we have our legendary Wrangler crew, the Wrangler the Cow Hunter. We can spin this guy and say, God doesn't love you, and scrap a Wrangler crew type character that we control, so it has to already be on the field, and we can ban any target character on our opponent's side of the field. Next we have the Smokemaster Vaga. When this enters the field, you may place target Scribe in your scrap pile on top of your deck. If the target is a Wrangler crew type, you can place it into your hand instead. So pretty much we can just revive any card that was taken out that is a Wrangler crew. And with its ability, we can spin this card instead of attacking with it to spin a target character so that it cannot intercept any of our beatdowns. And moving on to the big man himself, we have the Cow Slinger Maggio, the top man himself of the Wrangler crew. Declaring a beatdown does not cause this to spin. This character can declare a beatdown twice per turn. So usually when we use a character card to declare a beatdown on one of our opponent's characters, it causes the card to spin, therefore we cannot use it any longer on that same turn. So essentially with this guy we can just attack twice. Another Wrangler character, Bubba in a pickle suit. So we can spin him instead of attacking, plus pay X amount of tapes. Again, y'all already know what X means. Say, I know a guy, and search your deck for a Scribe with a tape cost of X or less. And you can place that straight into your hand, and if it's a Wrangler crew type, you can place it straight onto the field and then shuffle your deck. So this is actually similar to our Wrangler Saloon, where we are allowed to search for a certain Wrangler type that we want and immediately place it onto the field. And coming in last for our Wrangler crew, we have the Robo Wrangler. And this guy actually has a really nice ability. So again, instead of attacking, we can spin this guy plus pay 2 tapes to search our deck for a Wrangler crew type character with a tape cost of 3 or less. So essentially we're getting a 3 tape cost card for the price of 2 tapes. And we can place it onto the field or straight into our hand, then shuffle our deck. And moving on into our regular Scribe character cards, we have the Biff Wolfed Up. And this guy has dash, so he is again unaffected by lag, just like our Zippity. And once per turn, so that meaning our turn and our opponents, we can howl to gain 10 life points each time we do it. And next up we got the Bazinga Boy Cassette Demon. When he enters the field, we can rewind 2 tapes. So as long as you have 2 tapes to play, we can essentially play this guy for free. Moving on to the base Shaman of Fortune. This guy actually has Leap, which characters with Leap can only be attacked or intercepted by characters with Leap or Reach. So this could be used as an opportunity to attack your opponent's life points while your other character cards worry about the others that are on your opponent's side of the field. Moving on to the Adentum Mechanical Scribe. This is one of my personal favorite Scribe cards. After we call this guy out and his lag is done, we can spin him plus pay 2 tapes to create a token copy of this and place it on the field. While it is on the field, it gains plus 20 attack for each other robot on our side of the field. So that 20 attack damage that he does For every single robot that we add to the field, every robot gets plus 20, plus 20, plus 20. So this could end up being a very devastating card. And moving on to Darkside Becky, when this enters the field, we can create a puppet token with 20 attack and 20 health and place it on our side of the field. Now, even though they both will have lag on them, it will be very nice on our next turn to allow us to start putting out some damage. And lastly, coming in, we have Smoking McDrack. This guy has Leap on him, so this is the same ability as our base Shaman, and we gain life equal to any damage that this character deals. So as long as we're able to use this guy to attack people for that 40 damage, every time he does it, we instantly gain 40 life points. The best piece of advice that I could probably give anybody who wants to use this type of deck would be to abuse the abilities as much as you can. Create as many tokens of those robots, as many of those puppet tokens with that Darkside Becky, and call out as many character cards from the Wrangla crew that you can while using the den as well as the abilities on the other cards themselves. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in TTS. Later.